Hi, David Meredith here again from Virtual IT. This is a more in-depth overview of the Learner Management System, the Pro version we have. And as before, we start off on a login page where you put the name in and your password, and that takes you to our main switchboard or menu. On there you find there's modules for clients, learners, qualification building, and training event scheduling. Now the clients is a CRM. You can capture your information there regarding your clients, be it their contact details, telephone numbers, email addresses, and the like. We have an area where we can put in additional contacts. On the sales side, it's a place here where we would put in the action date, which would be where the sale would start, what action needs to be taken, a follow-up call, etc. Here we would have other information like the prospect status, is it an existing client, is it a lapsed client, and the source. And again, later on you can pull out reports on the source to find out where the majority of your business is coming. And then we have the value of that particular sale. Now for me as a businessman, I obviously like to know what I've sold, but even more importantly is what's in the pipeline, the sales pipeline. And on here we have our thing called probability of sale, which gives a percentage against it. We have a communication log. When we add communications or add records, it puts the date and time in automatically. We can then put the reason for our call, client contact, subject, etc. And then if I need to get back to the client, I can click on the date here, put in the date, and we can pull out a report daily, weekly, or whenever that will give us the people that need to be contacted, by whom, and by when, and what is the particular subject. Links to documents. If we have service level agreements or we have any other information that we want to capture, as long as it's on the computer we're working with or we have access to it on the server, we can go to here, double click, it brings up a hyperlink insert box where we can put in the text to be displayed, link to the particular document. So when we're going through, we can click on there, it'll open the document, and we have the information in front of us. At any given time, if somebody wants to know the number of learners from a particular client, we can find the client, in this case AA Timberland, go to learners from client, and it'll give me a report of all the learners that are geared or linked to that particular client. And that's an overview of our client details. Now on the learners, as we go into there, the first things we can look at is we would link our learner to a client, we would put the ID number in there, and as we put the ID number, the South African ID number that is, it'll do a number of things. Firstly, it'll make sure there's 13 digits. Secondly, it'll take out the date of birth and the age. And thirdly, it'll take out the gender. But the most important thing it does is it makes sure that this ID number has never been put in the database before. If it has, it'll throw out a default dialog box for you to go and check why that number's going in twice. Now, if I want to search for any learners, and if you look at my particular demonstration here, I have 1,393 learners there, I can search basically on any of the fields at the top here. Now, I'm going to cheat and just go through to last name, go to find learner, and it's exactly the same as we have with Excel and Word. Click on there, and it'll bring up Anna. As we go through here, we can link to the equity, nationality, etc. If you have a learner that's not a South African citizen, we can put in an ID type there, for instance, a driving license, passport, work permit, and an ID number. We can put in provinces, regions, managers, etc. We have the occupational categories, and we have the OFO codes. We can put in the socio-economic status, either employed, unemployed, and the CETA that we're reporting to. Now, as we add a learner, the database will give them a unique reference number that will stay with them right through their life of the database. If you delete the learner, the number goes with them. So we have an audit trail there. However, if you're working on behalf of a client or you have your own student numbers, you can put in whatever number you want there, alphanumerics or whatever. We can add a learner's photograph if we have access to it on the computer or on the server. Once you have the information, and you can print out a student card, either singly like this or in bulk. While we're on this subject, we can also look at these drop-down sections here. You'll notice there's drop-down arrows all the way through the database. Now, they are, where appropriate, built on the NLID specifications. But also you can go through and you can adjust, edit, and delete by just clicking on the side here, double-clicking on the white section, and going. You can add a record, delete a record, or even find a record. It just makes maneuvering around the database that much quicker where you can click and drop information in. We can pull up a student registration form. At the bottom here we have places to put in contact details for the learner. We have a communication log like we had with clients, but this is for the learner. But we also have an absenteeism report. If you hear from Anna or Anna's contacts to say, look, she's not going to be into the course today, we can click on, add the information, click on the report, and I think it's important that we can add it to an email, send it straight out so it doesn't take that much time, and it's with Anna's supervisor, employer, whatsoever. So they've got information to hand to say, look, Anna hasn't appeared, and this is her reason. Right, moving on, we can capture education, either school education, informal, tertiary, and we can add as many records as we like. If we're just keeping this information in terms of CETA requirements, we can put in the overall highest qualification, and again we can double click and add. If you're in the database under the Learner section and you wanted a quick update on the courses Anna's been on, we could go to the Record of Learning and Assessment, and it's a snapshot. And here it'll show me the information of the courses Anna's been on. Now looking at this one, there's no result there, so chances are that Anna's still doing the course or hasn't been assessed on it. Here we find out she's been competent. And if I want to get a quick report, I can go to my individual learner assessment, find here the course that she has been assessed on, which will give us the unit standards, the descriptions, the core details, who the assessor was, and the results. I click on the email button and away it goes. Links to learners, as we had with the clients, we can put as many links in as we like. In fact, we've got 14 here, but we can add as many groups of 14 as we require. So we can have copies of Anna's ID, certificates, or any other information that we think is relevant. We have a place here for disciplinary action and for grievance reporting. On admin and vouchers, some of the CETAs give out vouchers to learners. Here, they would give you a voucher for a course that you are accredited for, maybe this AgriCETA here. We can put the code in there, the value, and any other information that's required. Now, it's not an accounting system, but it will give you the information on any vouchers that Anna has against any of your authorized or your accredited courses. On the learner admin side, we have a place where we can tick to say that learners received a copy of the agreement, they've been given a copy, do they have any special needs, are they wheelchair bound, do they need ramps, have they got visual impairment. On employment, we can record the employment information and use it two ways basically. Historically, we can record the employment the learner has had and use it maybe for RPL purposes. If they've done a qualification with us or a learnership, if we put a completion date in there and then record any employment thereafter, we can pull out a post-learnership employment report or gainful employment report if you like, which can be sent through to sponsors. Right, that's basically an overview of the learner details. Let's look how we build qualifications and unit standards. When the system is sold, it comes with all the unit standards that SAC will have at the time of the sale. SAC will obviously update and revise their unit standards on a regular basis. And to keep your LMS up to date, all you need to do is go to the SACWell website where they have the unit standard template, download it, save it onto a computer. We'd obviously tell you how to do that in the training videos. Go to the administration button here, click on import unit standards, and that would bring all the latest and revised unit standards down into the database, and it would be up to date every time you do that. Now, if you're working with non-unit standard qualifications, non-NQF aligned qualifications, maybe doing your own modules or whatever, all you need to do is add a record, give it a name, we'll call this LMS Demo, give it a unit standard number or the equivalent of a reference number that makes sense to you, BIT 678, whatever, and you'll find that as you go into the qualification builder, which we'll show you in a short time, you'll be able to bring in your modules and build qualifications just as easy as if you were building them with unit standards. That's basically how we work with unit standards. Now, once you have that information to hand, you can go to build a qualification. Here we add, and I'll just put in demo of LMS. You capture the information, put in the type of qualification it is, capture the information that SACWell have got on their qualification template or qualification list on their website. If you've got a suggested fee, you can put that in to save time later. And because the unit standards are already in the database, you can either start typing in the number, and I'm just going to type any old numbers in here, find it, click and drop, and so on. And you can carry on and build your qualification with either one unit standard or as many as you like. And you'll notice it brings in the unit standard title, the credits, the NQF level, and the registration end dates. Now, bear in mind, I've just picked 3 unit standards out of the sky there. All you need to do at that stage is put in core, fundamental, or elective, and then you have a qualification or a skills program or a course that's designed, ready to be sent out or ready to be used, as it were, in the training event scheduler as many times as you want. Now, the training event scheduler is where we bring everything together. It's a busy page, but it works because everything's there that you want to have to handle in your new course. You'd give it a unique name. You'd link through to the course that you built. Remember we built the demo of LMS? I'm not going to bring this in there because I'm going to use these unit standards that are based on this particular course. You'd tell what sort of type of event it is, skills program, etc. Your learner's already in the database, so we'd click at the bottom, find the learner, and as you can see there, it's got the name, last name, first name, but also the ID number and the reference number. Fees could be typed in, or they come in automatically. If you remember that when we built up the qualification, we put in a suggested fee. We have a place to put the VAT, accommodation fees, manuals, transport, catering fees, etc. And if you feed your learners, there's a place here to put dietary requirements. And you can double-click and add what you like. Here we can add facilitators, etc. on a drop-down. And if you want to add new facilitators, maybe at the beginning of the process of adding your data to the database or ongoing, in any of the fields, we just double-click. And that will take us inside to either our assessors, in this case, facilitators, moderators, venues. All the double clicks that get you into a place where you can add the information that you need to. For instance, here on the assessors, we can add in their contact details, a link to their CV, a link to their assessor identifier document. You'll find that we can add the courses that they're qualified to assess. The system will automatically bring in the courses they have assessed on our behalf, and there's a section where we can add any organizations that they're registered with. Close the form and we're back in the main menu. In the venue, we can put in the name of the venue, the number of seats it takes, and what other resources are there. And as you notice, as we populate the course here with learners, it tells us over here that we have 11 seats booked and there's still 9 available. The rest of the information is fairly straightforward. On the side there, you can go through and you can link to the assessor's report if it's on your computer. The same with the moderators and the same with the facilitators. We'll talk about links to evaluations just now. Now, once we have our resources in and our learners in, we can print an attendance register, either daily or a 7-day one. We also have a thing called an event planner, because we found out over a period that a lot of clients were sending or working in areas away from their head office. Now, the event planner is a way of just making sure that you've covered as many of the bases as you can to stop your course going pear-shaped. For instance, we wanted training room 1. Have we actually booked it? Yeah, who booked it? Frank. So if the learners arrive and their office is locked, we know who to contact quickly to find out what's going on. Was a Proxima booked? There's nothing worse than arriving at a training event ready to use a data projector and it's not there. Have we ensured the assessor's going to be there? The facilitator? Have we checked the catering? And once we have the information in hand, and bear in mind that comes in automatically from your training event scheduler, we can print out our event planning report so that information is either with us and also we might send a copy through to our facilitator or assessor on site. If we click through to the end section of that report, we'll also see the information on our learners, where they're from, contact details, charge requirements, etc. We have the opportunity of sending out booking confirmation letters. We have venue availability and facilitator availability. We have a costing scenario where we can go in and pull in the costs. And again, we have a number of costings in there already, which are on drop-downs. But again, you can double-click and add your own. We can invoice per learner or per company for that. With our evaluation manager, you can go down, click on the button there, and it takes us through to our evaluation manager input schedule. Now, we have a questionnaire builder here where you can add your own questions. And once you've filled in the questions, you can either print out your facilitation report, and again, obviously with your logo on there, and your course report or evaluation form. That goes through to your learners. They give you your feedback. Once it comes in, you'd capture it in the top section there, and it would then give you a feedback report. Again, we click on there, highlight the information, copy it, and we can drop it again into Excel. Now, once it's in Excel, we can summarize it, and then maybe put charts or graphs against the information to see a visual trend of the particular levels that we're achieving in these courses. Now, when it comes down to assessments, we go to our assessment report here, and it brings in the name of the learner, the ID of the unit standard, and the unit standard title automatically. Then all you need to do is put in the date, name of the assessor, and the level. Now, the result could be competent, not yet competent, but you also have the facility to put in their passed, failed, or percentages. We can say, was a POE submitted? If not, why not? Was this course based on RPL rules? We can put the tools that we use in terms of the course. We can put any notes from the assessor and any recommendations. Once we've got our information into the database, we can pull out an assessment report for the whole course, detailing all the information from everybody on that particular course, the unit standards, titles, credits, etc. Or we can pull out a report per individual. In this case, this is Anna on a short-term insurance course. And again, it gives us the full details, which we can send through to Anna or her employer. We can also get this report per company as well. There's a place to put POE tracking, portfolio of evidence tracking, projects and assignments. I'll come back to certification in a second. Assessment preparation, moderation, mentoring and tutoring, and side visits. Now, with certification, we have a couple of areas we can work with. First of all, we can put in any CETA certificate numbers and information if the CETA has given us a go-ahead to print certificates. If we're doing in-house, we can capture our information here. We can also say who picked up the certificate and the date it was picked up. Now, once we've populated that information, we have a choice. We can go through to here. I'm just going to put a number in here while we're here. So the date of issue, certificate number. Now, at this stage, we've got a number of issues. We can either click on this button here, and this will export all the information from this course for the learners who've been found competent. And it will export it into Excel, and there you can mail merge it into your own artwork. Or you can go to our assessment certificate, you'll bring in the information that you want there, capture the information there, and then from that you can work your artwork around it. We also have an attender certificate, and that is run from the assessment side. So if we'd actually put attended instead of competent, then the information would have been there. We can pull out reports on projects, assessments, mentoring, POE tracking, etc. Now, that's got the information into the database. What do we do with it once it's in there? Well, in terms of reports, our database has approximately 150 reports in it. Admin reports, which cover things such as the assessment log, certification, etc. There's HR reports. There are client reports, training event reports, and onwards where we have learner reports, qualifications, and CETAs, etc. And if you want a list of the reports or copies of the reports, we'd quite happily send them through to you. When we look at administration, we can go in and we can do backups of our system. We can archive our learners should we want to. Not that you really need to. I mean, we've got people with systems up to 30,000, 40,000 learners in them. In fact, we had an example the other day when we were working with one of our clients that's got in excess of 26,000 learners and over 8,000 courses in the LMS. And that particular database, the data section at the back end, came to a mere 48 to 52 meg, so it's pretty small. You can also put the CETA exports. Now on there you can click either on a generic report or on the Excel exports, and you can either use the generic or the Excel to copy and paste the data into the CETA's web pages for those that require uploading by using the websites, or you can go in there and send out the spreadsheet Excel report through to those CETAs that still accept them. We can go in and we can update company information and employee information. One of the main things we can do is export information to Excel. And here we can export about 80% of the core information into Excel and then make up your own reports. You can import the latest unit standards from SAQA with just a couple of clicks, and that's all explained in our training videos. Just touching on that, the system comes with unlimited access to plus minus 60 training videos on the internet. So if we can help you any further, please give us a call on 0861 847 882 or 0861 virtual, or you can email us on info@virtual-it.co.za. Fine. And winding up, many thanks for joining us today and have a great day. Cheers.